Jon Lester has career win number 200. Cardinals have win number 80 and number 9 in a row as the Cardinals are rolling here in September. We're talking about the entire game yesterday as well as the rest of this series against the Brewers. St. Louis is flying high. We're talking about it all on today's episode of Locked On Cardinals.
You are Locked On Cardinals, your daily St. Louis Cardinals podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into Locked On Cardinals for Tuesday, September the 21st. It will be the 21st night of September tonight. I think that's a song, if I remember correctly. Nevertheless, welcome into the show today, whenever you're listening, wherever you're listening, or if you're watching on the YouTube channel. Much appreciated. Thanks for tuning in today. I am the host of the show, Lucas Smith, and if you're watching on YouTube, you can see my name and Twitter handle right there, at LJ Fastball on Twitter. Been hosting the show for just over a year, lifelong Cardinal fan, as well as a lifelong Cardinal follower as well. So lots of good things to talk about on today's episode of the show. A little bit of a switcheroo from the probables I talked about yesterday in this Brewers series, as Jon Lester got the ball yesterday and he got a win. And it was an important win for the Cardinals, for the Jon Lester, as well as he does pick up number 200. I'll talk about that, recap the game, as well as preview the rest of this series. That is a 4-game series between the Brewers this week. So the Cardinals play Milwaukee 3 more times, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we are brought to you in part today by Locked On MLB. Paul Francis Sullivan, but please call him Sully. We'll walk you through MLB each and every day, past and present. So be sure to head over to Locked On MLB once you're done listening to this show. But yesterday, if you missed it, Cardinals with a big-time win. 5-2 was the final score there. As Jon Lester picks up win 200, Luis Garcia picks up the save, Nolan Arenado with a big milestone, and Molina contributing as well. Let's just run through the scoring real quick in case you missed it. Nolan Arenado hit a home run, his 33rd of the year for a 2-run shot. Avisaíl Garcia, Luis Urias both hitting home runs for the Milwaukee Brewers in the bottom half of the second. No scoring until the 6th inning when Yadier Molina had a ground ball base hit. Paul Goldschmidt then had a sacrifice fly in the 7th, and Molina with another base hit in the 8th. A run in the 6th, 7th, and 8th for the Cardinals as they hit the ball well, having 9 hits on the day. Brewers held to just 3 hits by Jon Lester and company. Jon Lester was backed up by Cody Whitley, TJ McFarland, and Luis Garcia, who picks up his first save of the season and first save as a Cardinal. We'll get to Nolan in a minute because he also made a big milestone as he is the first Cardinal with 100 RBIs since Matt Holliday all the way back in 2012. Yes, I understand some people might say that RBIs don't mean a whole lot. It's just circumstantial, but 100 RBIs is still obviously the century mark, if you will, and still a pretty good threshold for somebody to beat. But let's talk Jon Lester. 7-6 with a 4.59 ERA this season overall. His line last night, 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned, no walks, and 2 strikeouts, 2 home runs given up, as I mentioned, both of them being of the solo variety. Jon Lester was a move that was highly criticized by many, including me on this show, but he has proven to be a very valuable commodity to the St. Louis Cardinals. His ERA is 4.02, so not outstanding. I understand that, but he's 4-1 in 10 starts. Opponents hitting .256, a whip of 1.3 with the Cardinals. And his last 3 starts have been spectacular. 7 innings, 2 earned runs against the Reds. 6 innings, 2 earned runs against the Mets. 6 innings, 2 earned runs against the Brewers. Rinse and repeat. A 2.93 ERA in his last 7 starts, a whip of 1.13. Just 22 strikeouts, but only 13 walks, 13 earned runs in 40 innings in his last 7 starts, according to MLB.com. He has been everything that Cardinals could have hoped for, in my opinion. Again, I kind of was really negative at first, and then as the move got along, realized that the best case scenario was Jon Lester turning back the clock, pitching like he did with, finding the fountain of youth, I guess, a little bit, as Adam Wainwright has. And he's talked about how Adam Wainwright has been a great help to him this season in his resurgence with the Cardinals. And Jon Lester has done exactly that, found the fountain of youth with the St. Louis Cardinals and has turned it around and gotten win 200. It was weird it wasn't in a Boston uniform. It was weird it wasn't in a Chicago uniform. It was in a St. Louis Cardinal uniform, a team that he has pitched against in the World Series, that he was a rival with the Chicago Cubs, pitched against in the postseason many, many times. And he got his 200th career win. I know wins might not mean as much today in today's game to many statisticians and fans and what have you. I understand that. But nevertheless, I mean, 200 wins is still pretty darn impressive, because you know what that means that he's doing? Let's see, what is a buzz phrase that I use often? Oh, yes, he is keeping his team in the game. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. That is the bare minimum of what he has been doing here in his last handful of starts. He's not going to blow you away with the radar gun. His stuff isn't going to blow you away. But when he's right, he's going to miss the barrel of the bat, induce weak contact, go deep into the game, go 6 innings like the Cardinals needed him to yesterday. Because you didn't use Reyes, who's looked sharper recently. You didn't use Gallegos. You didn't use Cabrera. You still had to use some pretty solid arms in McFarland and Garcia, Cody Whitley as well. But Jon Lester's career is one of a lot of overcoming difficulties. He had a cancer survivor. He broke a curse with Chicago, was part of the, not 2014, but the 2000, I believe it was on 2017, but he was at least on the 2013 team with Boston. He's a proven winner at the major league level. And he was able to get career win number 200 last night. And it came in a Cardinal uniform. It was weird. It was bizarre. But it's one of those things that's it is what it is at this point, and he is doing everything that he could have been asked to do in this move to St. Louis. He's given the Cardinals everything he has. I'm not saying this warrants a contract extension or to sign him past this year, but he is doing everything that he has been asked to do and more, if you ask me. Lester, in my opinion, the expectations haven't been super high on him. Maybe they're a little bit higher now because of the success, but he has met any expectations that anybody could have possibly given him since he was traded to the Cardinals. He's pitched extremely efficiently. He's worked well with Wainwright, with Yachty. It was a joy to see. You know, it's weird to be in a state where the 200th win for Jon Lester is not just a tip of the cap. It's not just a congratulations to a very good competitor, but it is indeed a celebratory thing because it happened for the team that you're covering, that you're on. So it's an extra thing as well. But it is what it is at this point. Jon Lester's probably only critique that I have is he hasn't really been able to keep the ball in the ballpark very well, giving up 2 home runs to Milwaukee yesterday. And it's not like this Milwaukee team is, you know, he's not pitching against the Cubs or the Rockies or Diamondbacks. This is a Milwaukee team that can hit. You've got Wong, Adames, Escobar, Garcia, your 1 through 4. Then you've got Christian Yelich. You've got Luis Urias as well that has had some nice moments this season. This is a team that can hit. I mean, Avisail Garcia has 28 home runs and Luis Urias has 21 home runs. Jon Lester was still able to shut them down, and the Cardinals have a winning streak that has not stopped yet. And for the Cardinals standpoint, hoping it just does not stop. But with that win, like I mentioned, 9 in a row. Their run differential is now positive at +6, 9-1 in their last 10. 80 wins on the season, but they're up 4 in the loss column. But overall, they are up 3 games on the Reds, who did win yesterday, 4 on the Padres, who have lost 3 in a row, and 4.5 on the Phillies, who have lost 2 in a row. Padres 2-8 in their last 10. Phillies 5-5. Mets won yesterday, but are 3-7 and 7.5 out, probably eliminating them from any serious contention. But also, many people pointed it out that it was ironic that Jon Lester's 200th career victory as a St. Louis Cardinal eliminated the Cubs from 2021 postseason contention. Kind of ironic, kind of poetic, because they are now eliminated, not only from the division race, but also the wild card race. Theoretically speaking, the NL Central is still up for grabs for the Cardinals, as their elimination number is 3. But like I mentioned, it would have to take a win out of the Cardinals standpoint and a lose out of the Brewers standpoint for the most part. Any combination of 3 Cardinal losses or Brewers wins would shave that elimination number down. Pretty significantly, obviously. So long and the short of this segment, Jon Lester got his 200th career win as a Cardinal. It was weird, but he has done everything he needed to do in a Cardinal uniform since he got traded. He has been everything. He's been, and really, to most people, he's probably been more than what was expected of him. He has been very, very, very efficient at many different levels, and he is just He's been what the doctor ordered. That's all you can say. We'll break it down the offensive side of things next, as well as a little bit of the bullpen. But we're talking Nolan Arenado, Harrison Bader, Yadier Molina, all of that and more coming up here in just a moment. And again, we will get to a little bit more of a series preview coming up a little bit later on in the show. But first, if you like money, you're going to want to listen to this next segment because football season is back and you can bet on it at BetOnline. It's your number one spot for all the pro and college football action this season. And they have a new updated site and interface. They have even more odds. They have more props and more contests than ever before. BetOnline.ag continues to be, not was the number one, not is, but not be. They continue to be and will be the number one source for everything football. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to sign up. And if you sign up, you can get a 100% welcome bonus. That is double your initial deposit. Just sign up. Don't forget to use promo code NFL100. If you're on the fence and you've been thinking maybe, I don't know, this is your sign. Go sign up today. And it's whether it's football, basketball, baseball, boxing, or your favorite Vegas casino games, BetOnline has you covered. Be sure to take advantage of all the amazing offers for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite sports. And above all, BetOnline is your online sportsbook expert. Offensively, Cardinals able to get 9 hits, as I mentioned. 1 from Tyler O'Neill in the first, scored on the home run. 2 from Nolan Arenado. 2 from Yadier Molina. Those were RBIs. 1 from O'Neill, 2 from Arenado, 1 from Carlson, 2 from Molina, and 1 each for Sosa and Bader. Bader having a double down that left field line. We're going to start with Nolan Arenado. 100 RBIs for the season. When you look at Nolan Arenado's baseball card this season, you might be a little bit disappointed, maybe. 257 the average, 313 on base. That's okay. 503 slugging is great. 816 the OPS. The on-base percentage, to me, might be the most disappointing part. Average is kind of hit or miss there. But the on-base is a career low outside of last season and his rookie season back in 2013. Usually he's anywhere from 330 to 360, topping out at 379 back in 2019. My bold prediction at the beginning of this year was that he was going to be an MVP favorite. 33 home runs, 101 RBIs, 32 doubles, a 503 slugging percentage is still a fine season. But I believe it was O'Neill who kind of mentioned this, or somebody else was quoted on this, is kind of saying the idea that he's going to have 3,100, which a lot of guys dream of, and he's still going to be somewhat disappointed in his season. I think that there's a lot of disappointment, not only in his season from his perspective, but also obviously from the Cardinals' perspective, as they are fighting, scratching, and clawing, and doing an exceptional job right now. But still fighting, going to have to fight, scratch, and claw to even make the playoffs, because even though they do hold a 3-game advantage over the Cincinnati Reds, the wild card elimination number for the Reds is still at 10 games, and we've still got a little under 2 weeks to go. So all that to be said, Nolan Arenado might be a little bit disappointed in his performance, and we can find little areas to critique in his performance. But I think for the Cardinals to have a 30 home run guy, 100 RBI guy for the first time in a while, I know Goldschmidt had 34 home runs in 2019, but 100 RBIs is a big number. It's a big number. That's a lot of runs being driven in for the St. Louis Cardinals. I mean, for perspective, the Cardinals have scored overall 633 runs. Not all those are RBIs, because you can get a run without having an RBI. But still, 101 RBIs runs being produced by Nolan Arenado. He is a run producer. And he's had some big moments for the Cardinals this season. You look back to the home opener, home run in the bottom of the 8th. So tremendous defensive plays up and down the diamond, up and down the season. Even at the lowest points in June, Nolan was still giving the Cardinals plenty to be happy for with his defensive play. He's a guy that is going to be a catalyst in this offense. The offense goes a lot of the times, and 100 RBIs is a fine accomplishment for Nolan Arenado. I mean, you look at the back of the baseball card for his career, the only times he has not driven in 100 RBIs was his rookie year in 2013 when he played 133 games. 2014, he only played 111 games. He drove in 61. And then last season, he drove in 26 and 48 games due to a little bit of an injury and COVID-shortened season. So he is a routine 100 RBI guy. When he scores 100, or when he drives in 100 or more, his lowest is 110. He's going to have to work a little bit to get above that 110 mark as kind of the baseline for his runs driven in. But nevertheless, I don't mean to be too negative about any of this. He has had a great or a solid first impression for the Cardinals. And if the Cardinals get 30 home runs and 30 plus home runs, it might be 35, 36, 37 by the time the season's over if he continues to hit some out. But at least 33 home runs, 100 some odd RBIs from their third base position. That's not something the Cardinals have had in a long time from that position. Even David Freese, who's probably the last solid full-time third baseman the Cardinals have had. Matt Carpenter was solid, don't get me wrong, but he wasn't a 30 home run, 100 RBI guy consistently throughout his entire career. So Nolan doing tremendous things with the bat, and it's one of those things as well that you appreciate a lot because of the scarcity of it from the Cardinals' perspective over the last X amount of seasons since 2012, obviously. But beyond that, Paul Goldschmidt had an RBI and Yadier Molina had 2 RBIs. Molina now has 62 on the season. Goldschmidt's going to have to work to get 100. He's got 88, so he's got an outside shot. Molina is not getting 100 RBIs. Not that he was ever meant to or never even has had a 100 RBI season. Molina's career high in runs driven in his illustrious 19-year career is 80 back in 2013. But again, he's a catcher, a different standpoint. But then again, Salvador Perez is having some sort of year. But offensively, it was nice to see the Cardinals get to the Brewer bullpen. Strickland and Suter giving up runs. Freddie Peralta was solid yesterday. He struck out 9. His slider, curveball combination, and he's really good. I think a lot of times Woodruff and Burns get a lot of the press and the attention and the social media posts and the spotlight, which is all well deserved. Burns is a Cy Young candidate, but Freddie Peralta is having a solid season. He's got a 2.65 ERA. He's 9-5. I think they said in the Brewers broadcast yesterday he'd be in the fit in the ERA, but battle if he qualified. I'm not sure if he's going to, but he's going to be a problem for a while. He's only 25 years old. So he pitched well. The Cardinals were just able to get enough hits, and they were able to get to the bullpen late. Hunter Strickland, who has had some history giving up some home runs, gave up a run, not a home run. But nevertheless, it was nice to see this offense, like I talked about in yesterday's show, not just score once and be done. Because I think a lot of times this offense has run into the issue of scoring a bunch early, 2 runs in the first, and then nothing. They were shut down by a good pitcher in innings 2 through 5. Is what it is. Cardinals were able to tack on 1 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th, 1 in the 8th, to get a lead, get insurance, and pad on to that insurance. It's a recipe for success. It's a cliche. I was talking about in the broadcast yesterday before Goldschmidt's sacrifice fly. Get them on, get them over, get them in. That is what, that is the recipe for success. And the Cardinals were able to do that yesterday. Not just in 1 inning or not just in 2 short innings right here, but an inning and then a little bit later on, spurts out throughout the game, scoring 3 runs in 3 innings, 1 each. The offense continues to roll. That's been the biggest difference maker because we have seen stretches this season where the pitching has been dominant. Wainwright has gotten some outings of little run support. Pitching has been dominant. Pitching has been really good, but the offense has left a lot to be desired at certain points. That's the biggest difference, in my opinion, for this Cardinal team. The offense is 100% clicking. You have a lot of guys swinging the bat really well. All 3 outfitters are having a little bit of a hot streak, as I mentioned. Carlson maybe a little bit less, but still. You have Goldschmidt, Arenado both driving in runs. O'Neill, obviously. Sosa is getting some big hits. Tommy Evans still being a catalyst at the top. Molina had a couple runs driven in yesterday. A lot of things are going well for the Cardinals at the right time. That's the key. Sometimes the biggest key in making the postseason is timing. Cardinals' timing is right, both at the plate and in terms of when they decided to get hot and when they decided to start playing some really, really fun and exciting and positive baseball. Not a lot of negatives to talk about from yesterday's game. Cardinals did strike out 10 times, but you take what you can get in certain points from the Cardinals' perspective. So a very, very, very positive game for St. Louis and a statement as well, because the Brewers are our first place team in the division for a reason. They're very solid. They're very good. The Cardinals proved that they can go out there and handle their business and win. And that's exactly what the Cardinals did. So that's going to do it for segment number 2 today. Segment 3 is going to be a little bit more of an in-depth breakdown, a little bit more in-depth than yesterday in terms of breaking down the rest of this series. Hopefully MLB.com has the correct probables. I know I talked about Woodford starting yesterday, but he did not. Obviously, Jon Lester started. So very, very positive for the St. Louis Cardinals. Can't complain about too many things from yesterday's game. So go ahead and take one more quick break and then get back into the rest of this series. Talk about how the Cardinals can try and earn at least a split tonight, as well as moving forward and continue their winning streak. In this ad break, I want to try and solve a problem. Because a lot of us have one device to catch the game live, another that lets you stream your favorite shows while you're watching sports highlights on your phone, and you've got your neighbor's best friends log in for the really good stuff. It's a hassle. It's a lot. It's too much. Here's a solution for you. It's called Direct TV Stream. You can finally get your TV together, get all the entertainment you love in a simple way. It brings your live TV and on-demand experiences together like never before. You can watch all your favorite sports, movies, shows all in one place. No more juggling remotes. No need to buy another device ever again. And the best part, there's no annual contract. So get rid of the clutter and the confusion. Get your TV together with Direct TV Stream. You can learn more at directtv.com. That is directtv.com. Compatible device required. Content varies by package. We are also brought to you in part today by rockauto.com. With the ever-increasing numbers of makes and models, it's now almost impossible for your local chain auto parts store to stock all the parts you need. Why would you endure the often pointless or intimidating questioning while the person behind the counter looks it up on their computer with the prices and parts that they have in store? Save time and money with Rock Auto. It's a family business serving auto parts customers online for over 20 years. Their prices are reliably low for every customer, whether you're somebody like me who's just doing it for the first time or you are an experienced veteran. Their prices are reliably low. They have everything you need, whether you need a brake part, a tail lamp, some motor oil, new carpet, they've got it. So go explore their easy-to-use website today to find the solution to your auto part needs. Go to rockauto.com right now and see all the parts available for your car or truck, and be sure to write "Locked On" in their "How did you hear about us" box so they know that we sent you. Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need. RockAuto.com. Another 6:40 start tonight. We've got a couple of W's starting on the mound for the Cardinals and the Brewers, as it is Jake Woodford for the St. Louis Cardinals, and it is Brandon Woodruff for the Milwaukee Brewers. Woodruff, 9-9, a 2.55 ERA. He is 2 strikeouts away from 200 on the season at 198. Meanwhile, Jake Woodford is 2-3 with a 4.30 ERA with just 40 strikeouts on the season. Brandon Woodruff also has the amazing whip of 0.96, coming off a quality start, 6 innings, 3 earned runs, 4 hits, 7 strikeouts against the Tigers. Start before that, 6 innings, 4 earned runs, 6 strikeouts against the Phillies. And the start before that, 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 8 strikeouts against the Giants, a 3.55 ERA in his last 7 starts. Woodruff is somebody the Cardinals have had actual success against this season. When you look at the game logs back on the 12th of May, they did not, getting just 1 run in 7 2/3 of an inning on a home run. But on the 19th of August, they did 5 innings, 8 hits given up by Woodruff, 6 earned runs, 2 bombs, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. A little bit of success there. But Woodruff, like I mentioned, had a very, very solid August, a 2.77 ERA. 2 bad starts in September, have his ERA at 5.25 for the month. Cardinals are going to have to look what they did against Woodruff in his most recent start. I think O'Neill had a big home run in that game, and Jake Woodford has had a good outing against the Brewers this year, going 5 1/3 in relief on the 4th of September against the Brewers, giving up just 2 hits and striking out 5. Extremely positive outing there. Back on everything else, his only other appearance was a 1 2/3 innings, 1 hit, no earned runs, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. So very solid numbers against the Brewers this year. Woodford is going to look to continue that. You've got, the big 3. And again, I know that we're kind of going away from calling them the big 3 because of the recent struggles. But you've got a lot of guys rested now that Jon Lester was able to go deep in yesterday's game. And Daniel Ponce de Leon was also DFA'd, so you've got a fresh arm in place of him and Waddell. So Woodford is going to have to look to continue the success he's had this season against the Brewers. He's coming off a couple of iffy starts since he earned the starting spot because of that relief appearance against the Brewers that I mentioned. He's had a couple of shaky starts since then, But he's got the Brewers. Maybe he can go back and find some more success. The Brewers are yet to announce a starter for tomorrow's game, which is also a 6:40 first pitch. Miles Michaelis will look to continue his success as well. It's all about building that momentum. Momentum, momentum, momentum. Baseball is a momentum game. Miles Michaelis has had his rough starts this season. Contract still hasn't looked great from the Cardinals' perspective, but he went 5 2/3 against a very good Padre lineup, gave up no earned runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, and 3 hits. That his goal is to repeat that performance, in my opinion. Repeat that performance, go deep into the game against Milwaukee, maybe aim for 6 innings instead of 5 2/3 or 6 2/3. Keep moving forward. This Milwaukee lineup is a tough one. Don't get me wrong. It's going to be tough to do. And the getaway day on Thursday, it's a 1:10 first pitch. It's live on YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube, you know how to get to YouTube. If you're listening on your podcasting platform, it's only going to be on YouTube to watch it. You can also listen, obviously, on the radio. But to watch it, it's going to be on YouTube. And I would recommend watching because it is Adam Wainwright versus Adrian Houser. Adrian Houser, somebody that I did not expect to pitch too well against the St. Louis Cardinals, but in that start against St. Louis, complete game shutout. 9 innings, 3 hits, 7 Ks. Cardinals look silly the entire time. Adam Wainwright coming off a pretty solid start, and we have a milestone to watch out for Adam Wainwright. He is 1 strikeout away from career strikeout number 2,000. So Hauser looking to continue his success. Wainwright looking for his milestone strikeout. Michaelis looking to continue his success. Jake Woodford looking to continue his success as well. Momentum building. Woodford, Michaelis might not have the most explosive stuff, wipeout stuff, not going to strike out the world. They might not even get 6 strikeouts. They might not even get 5 strikeouts. Probably they might sit more in the 2 to 4 range, 5 at the tops, maybe 7 at the tops. These guys are going to rely on weak contact to go deep into the game. Control, control, control. Momentum, momentum, momentum. That's the key. That's what I'm looking for, in my opinion, for the rest of this week. The Cardinals don't need a sweep in this series to be successful. What they need to do is continue to having quality at bats, continue to continue to not only score in the beginning part of games, but continue to score the beginning part of games and add on later. Not even when it's just needed, but even just to add on for the sake of adding on, right? So that to me is what I'm looking for. That to me is the mark of a good offense. And right now, this Cardinal team is a good offense. If you want to argue that the second wild card shouldn't be there, if you want to argue that this team shouldn't even be here because of how poorly that they have played at this point in the season, doesn't matter. This team is in a postseason spot right now. Once you make October, once you're qualified, anything can happen. Adam Wainwright admitted that they have played some, quote, wretched baseball this year. And then said, he thanked Cardinals fans for coming out and continuing to support. The Cardinals are giving Cardinal fans reason to stay out and support now with their play. If they lose tonight, then that's not the end of the world, in my opinion. Obviously, I don't think anybody is of that state of mind. But just for the record, minimum the Cardinals need to get a split this week. They can set themselves up very nicely for a series win if they do earn the split tonight, because you got to feel pretty good about winning that Wainwright start on Thursday. Even with Hauser going and coming off a very solid start, you always feel good about an Adam Wainwright start. Let me know how you're feeling about this upcoming Jake Woodford start tonight and Miles Michaelis start tomorrow by following me on Twitter at LJ Fastball right there. If you're looking on the YouTube page, you can also follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at LO_Cardinals. And email the show anytime at lockedoncards@gmail.com. I try and either reply to the ones I see and or talk about them on the show. That's going to do it for today. Tomorrow I'll be recapping tonight's game as the Cardinals look to secure a series split with a win against the Brew Crew tonight in Milwaukee. Thank you for tuning in today, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform. It's all free. You don't have to pay a dime to listen to Locked On Cardinals. It's all free and wonderful, so much appreciated there. If you hit the subscribe button, drop a rating, drop a like, tell your friends and family, however you see fit. But until I talk to you guys tomorrow, be sure to stay safe, stay well, and have a fantastic rest of your day.